Narcissism is a complex and often misunderstood personality trait that manifests in numerous ways, some more surprising than others. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing, yet rarely discussed, aspects of narcissistic behavior: their secret sexual cravings. If you've ever found yourself puzzled by the enigmatic allure of a narcissist, or the strange patterns in their intimate relationships, you're in for a revelatory discussion that might just leave you speechless. Keep reading to uncover truths they'd never dare confess. Truths that could completely transform how you perceive their hidden desires. Before we begin, let me remind you to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying these deep dives into human psychology. Don't forget to like this article and share it with anyone who's ever been curious about the intricacies of narcissistic behavior. Now, let's unravel the mysteries of what really goes on in the narcissist's mind when it comes to their most private desires. What makes narcissist sexual cravings particularly shocking is not merely their intensity, but the contradictions they carry. At first glance, narcissists may appear charming, confident, and self-assured, with an undeniable magnetic appeal that draws others in. Yet, beneath this polished exterior lies a web of insecurities, control mechanisms, and unmet emotional needs that profoundly influence their intimate relationships. Each of their cravings is like a hidden puzzle piece, exposing a part of their psyche they work hard to conceal. While their desires may be easily dismissed as pure self-indulgence, the reality is far more complex and layered. One striking revelation is the extent to which narcissists crave validation through their sexual experiences. On the surface, they seem to exude control, using charm to seduce and dominate their partners. However, their intense need for admiration transforms every encounter into an opportunity to reinforce their fragile ego. Compliments and signs of physical approval become symbols of success, trophies added to an internal collection. Despite this dependency, narcissists rarely, if ever, acknowledge it, as doing so would undermine their carefully curated image of independence and superiority. Beyond validation, narcissists often harbor a secret desire to be worshipped by their partners. This fantasy reveals their deep need to feel unique and irreplaceable. In their idealized world, their partner would prioritize the narcissist's needs above all else, often at the expense of their own. This dynamic is not just about physical intimacy. It represents a power structure where the narcissist holds absolute control. It underscores their longing to dominate not only the relationship, but also the narrative surrounding it. The paradox, however, lies in their simultaneous fear of true emotional intimacy. While they crave worship and control, narcissists often struggle with vulnerability, avoiding deep emotional connections that might expose their insecurities. This avoidance creates a push and pull dynamic in their relationships, leaving their partners confused and emotionally drained. They seek closeness but only on their terms, prioritizing their needs over genuine mutual understanding. Interestingly, this craving for control and validation does not stem from strength, but rather a profound sense of insecurity. Narcissists often use their sexual relationships as a means to mask their deep-seated fears of inadequacy and rejection. Their outward confidence is often a fragile defense mechanism designed to hide their inner turmoil. The contradictions between their desires and insecurities make their intimate relationships a constant battleground of power and vulnerability. Ultimately, understanding the complexity of narcissist sexual cravings requires empathy and a willingness to see beyond the surface. While their behavior may appear manipulative or self-centered, it often reflects deeper emotional wounds and unresolved issues. By recognizing these underlying factors, we can better comprehend their actions and the impact they have on their relationships, providing insight into the intricate world of narcissistic dynamics. Another startling aspect of narcissistic sexual behavior is their inclination toward thrill-seeking and taboo exploration. For a narcissist, the idea of engaging in something forbidden or unconventional holds a particular allure. This isn't merely about the act itself, but about the sense of superiority it provides. By breaking societal norms or engaging in behaviors others might shy away from, they reinforce their self-image as daring, unique, and above the rules. However, this comes with a caveat. They'll rarely admit to these fantasies, fearing judgment or loss of their perfect image. Have you ever noticed how narcissists seem to have a sixth sense for detecting vulnerability in others? This isn't a coincidence. Narcissists often crave relationships where they can exploit their partner's weaknesses to maintain control. In the bedroom, this dynamic can manifest as a subtle yet persistent power play. They're not just seeking physical satisfaction. They're asserting dominance, reinforcing their position as the one in control. Yet they'll never openly acknowledge this, as doing so would expose the manipulative undercurrent of their desires. What might be even more shocking is how narcissists secretly struggle with feelings of inadequacy, which often drive their more perplexing cravings. Despite their outward confidence, many narcissists harbor a deep fear of rejection. This fear can lead them to engage in behaviors designed to preemptively protect themselves from vulnerability. For example, they might pursue multiple partners simultaneously, not out of genuine desire, but as a safeguard against potential emotional harm. This hedging strategy allows them to maintain a sense of control, even in the most intimate of settings. Narcissists also have a peculiar relationship with intimacy. While they might appear to enjoy close, passionate connections, the reality is often more complicated. True intimacy requires vulnerability, something a narcissist is inherently wary of. To maintain the illusion of intimacy without exposing themselves, they may employ a variety of tactics, from exaggerated displays of affection to overly rehearsed romantic gestures. These actions are less about genuine connection and more about creating a narrative that aligns with their idealized self-image. The hidden desire to feel normal is perhaps one of the most perplexing cravings within the narcissist psyche. Beneath their facade of self-importance and exaggerated bravado lies an intense longing for the kind of love and acceptance that doesn't require constant performance. This yearning is rarely acknowledged, even by the narcissist themselves, because it conflicts with their grandiose self-image. However, it is this unspoken craving that often triggers their more destructive behaviors, as they grapple with the tension between their need for authenticity and their fear of exposure. When we examine the layers of narcissistic desire more closely, it becomes evident that their sexual cravings are much more intricate than they may initially appear. These desires are not just about physical gratification, but serve as a reflection of their inner turmoil. Each craving offers a glimpse into the contradictions that define the narcissist's complex personality. The intricate dance between their need for validation and their internal conflict becomes clearer when we look beyond the surface. A narcissist's struggle to reconcile their desire for affection with their fear of vulnerability often manifests in erratic or destructive behaviors. These behaviors are not necessarily born out of malice, but rather as a defense mechanism to shield themselves from the perceived danger of being found out or exposed. The need to maintain control and dominance over their surroundings becomes paramount, often leading to manipulation or exploitation of others in an attempt to fulfill their deep-seated cravings for love and acceptance. In relationships, understanding the narcissist's underlying emotional needs can be both challenging and enlightening. By acknowledging that their actions are often driven by an inner conflict, we are better equipped to navigate these complex dynamics. This deeper understanding provides an opportunity for more empathy, as we realize that their behavior is not solely an expression of arrogance, but also an attempt to mask a vulnerable, insecure core. As we continue exploring narcissistic behavior, it's crucial to remember that these desires are often unspoken, buried deep within the narcissist's consciousness. They are rarely self-aware of the true motivations behind their actions, which makes it even more difficult for them to engage in authentic, meaningful relationships. Recognizing the underlying complexities of their emotional landscape allows us to approach these individuals with greater understanding, while also protecting our own emotional well-being. We appreciate you joining us on this thought-provoking journey into the world of narcissistic behavior. If you found this article insightful, we encourage you to share it with others who may benefit from these observations. Be sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on human psychology. Your continued support helps us bring you content that not only informs but inspires. Until next time, take care.